Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Half Century Concealment.
Waiting for the afterglow, the railroad show. How did it come to this? Redcoats at the Alamo. Another show.
Today we're going to do the 1,000 round review video for the Taurus G2C. Plus, we've done some upgrades to it, so we want to talk to you about that as well. Before we get started, want to ask everyone, if you like our content, you want to see more of it, hey look, if you like my shirt, please subscribe and like below, hit the little notification bell so you can find out as soon as we put out a new video. We promise we're only going to put content out there that we feel you're going to receive value from. So, the Taurus G2C, we did an initial review video of this several months ago, and I'll go ahead and put a link up here to that, where we went ahead and this was our initial impressions out of it. We had only fired about 100 rounds through the pistol, and we gave it a solid B at the time. So now, 1,000 rounds later, because we've put 1,000, probably more like 1,200 rounds by the time this airs, through this, what is our opinion of it now? Okay, well, for starters, our little G2C here, we put every type of ammo that we have through it. We went ahead and put 115 grain, 124, plus P, 147 grain, steel case, brass case, hollow point. We put federal HST. We put everything through this. And in 1,000 and about 1,200 rounds, we had two failures. We had two jams. They were both with Russian-made Wolf steel case ammo. Personally, I blame the ammo. That's my opinion. I think that this is substandard compared to other ammos that we normally use. Now, why am I using Wolf substandard Russian-made ammo steel case? Well, because maybe it's what you're using. And we need to be able to put everything through something when we're testing it to make certain that we're giving you as accurate information or as accurate results as possible. So if you're using Wolf or something of the sort, and it's steel case, it's not made in the US, it maybe isn't made to US specs, just know that we had two failures in about 1,200 rounds through the G2C. And like I said, I blame the ammo. Now, let's talk a little bit about the specs on the G2C. It's 9mm, well this one's 9mm, it also comes in a 40 cal. The 40 cal is a 10+1, this 9mm is a 12+1. It's a polymer frame. It comes in a myriad of different colors. It comes with really good grip texture, by the way. It's textured in the back, in the front, and triangles on the sides, on both sides. And I have to say, it's textured exactly where you would want it to be textured. The only place that it's not textured that I would have personally liked is if you notice right up here, you have a thumb rest, which is wonderful. It's a little indentation. It's perfectly positioned. You have a nice, let me get this out of the way. You have a nice thumb rest right there. I would have liked to have had the thumb rest textured. I might go ahead and do that myself. But other than that, I'm nitpicking. I really am. The grip is textured wonderfully. It comes standard with 3-dot plastic sights. These are not the 3-dot plastic sights. I'll talk more about the sight replacement that we did in a few moments. The slide is carbon steel or stainless steel. You have a choice of one or the other. Now, dimension-wise, it's 6¼ inches long, actually 6.26 inches long. It's exactly 5 inches tall. It's exactly 1.25 inches in width. The barrel is 3.25 inches. It comes standard with two really good quality metal magazines. Didn't have any challenges whatsoever with the magazines. And by the way, yes, this firearm has been cleared before the video. It brings a limited lifetime warranty. What does that mean? It's a lifetime warranty for the original owner. If you're not the original owner, it's a 1-year warranty from the original date of purchase. Now, when we first bought this, and if you've already gone ahead and checked out our original video, you'll know that we paid $180 for this back at the end of 2019. So before coronavirus and civil unrest and election concerns and everything else that's going on right now, and firearm prices that have gone up and ammunition shortages that are rampant at this moment. It's really hard to find ammo, especially the popular sizes, 9mm, 380, 45, 40 cal, etc. And by the way, we did a couple of videos on that. We'll go ahead and put a link to one of them up here. We did pay $180 for this after a $25 mail-in rebate. Prices now, $260 to $275 is what we've seen. Your local gun shop might not have it. You might have to look online, but $260 to $275 is about what we've seen with this with this pistol. Now, we went ahead and did some upgrades. So besides the fact that it's not very expensive, it does bring some parts in it that are plastic that we didn't feel comfortable with, and we wanted to go ahead and replace. So the first one was the sights. The original sights are just plain Jane 3-dot plastic sights. I don't even think that's going to come out on the camera there, but 3-dot plastic sights. It's pretty well known that plastic sights are not going to be the most reliable, especially if you're in a situation where you're one-handed, you have to rack the gun using the slide. Well, now you can find yourself in a situation where the sights break off and now the gun is unusable. You have no way of racking it back if you're one-handed at that moment. If you're defending yourself with this hand, if you don't have access to reach over with the other hand and rack the slide yourself. So that was one of the reasons we changed it. The other is I'm really not a big fan of 3-dot white sights. So I went ahead and replaced them with these really awesome red fiber optic front. And by the way, it also comes in yellow or green. You put it on yourself, with a blacked out rear. By the way, the first 3 upgrades I'm going to talk about are all from Lakeline LLC. We're not sponsored by them. We have no financial affiliation with them whatsoever. The only reason I'm talking to you about their product is because I feel it would be an asset, it would be a benefit to you to make these upgrades. So we went ahead and did the fiber optic front with the blackout rear. For defensive purposes, I very much prefer to have that type of a setup. If you have a fiber optic front and you're out in the daylight, that's just gonna pop and it's going to, the blackout rear is just going to allow you to focus on the front sight. It's going to allow you to get defensively accurate much quicker, I believe. One thing that I need to comment on the sights, since these are steel sights, and by the way, the back just screwed right in perfectly easy. The front sight, this is my second front sight. Why? Because the front sight needs to be filed. It has a little piece that fits into the opening at the top of the slide. And in order for it to fit properly, it's made a little bit bigger than it should be, because these are not always that opening is not always going to be of the same size on every pistol. So it's made a little bit bigger than you need, and you need to file it down. Now, I spoke with Al at Lakeline LLC. He suggested a $2.50 set of files from Harbor Freight, which is what I purchased and which is what I used to put on the second set, and did not have an issue, because with the first front sight that I put on here, I overfiled it. Major rookie mistake, and then all of a sudden I had a loose front sight. Blue Loctite, everything, and by the way, there's just one screw at that holds it in place. So the installation on that part of it is easy. But rookie mistake, like I said, and I overfiled it and I ended up with a loose front sight. No way to fix it other than to get another one. So $25 later, I get replaced with another steel front sight, and I very carefully filed it down. Every time I stroke the file a few times, try it again until I finally got it to fit properly. I want to tell you this because if you're not comfortable doing that kind of work, and by the way, being careful, I still scratched the sight up a little bit. But if you're not comfortable doing that kind of work, please feel free to have a gunsmith do it for you. You're better off paying somebody else a few dollars than ending up with a loose front sight down the road, having to still have a gunsmith do it for you, or having to go through the process multiple times and the frustration that has, or that goes with that. The other thing is you also don't want to be in the middle of a training session or in the middle of a range day and have the front sight go bad on you, and now either A, you're not able to finish, or B, you're finishing under less than ideal circumstances, and it may affect the benefit you're going to receive from that training. So finally, on the sights, we'll wrap it up here with that. If you don't feel comfortable, please have a gunsmith put them on for you. The other two things that we did is we went ahead and replaced the guide rod. This is the original plastic guide rod that comes with the G2C with a stainless steel guide rod. We wanted this for reliability. We didn't want a plastic piece that could potentially fail on us at some point down the road. By the way, the sights were $45. The stainless steel guide rod is $27. And the other thing about the stainless steel guide rod, which is a nice little added benefit, I have to admit, it looks pretty cool having that stainless steel dot in the front instead of having the black plastic dot. The other part which we replaced, which is fully internal, and this was still fairly easy to replace, was the striker guide. For $17, we replaced the plastic orange striker guide that it came with a stainless steel striker guide. So altogether at Lakeline LLC, we went ahead and spent $90 on a guide rod, a striker guide, both stainless steel, and on steel fiber optic front blackout rear sights. The other upgrade that we did, which you may or may not even consider an upgrade, is the light. And the reason why I say that is because I can take the light off and put it on another pistol. So it's not necessarily an upgrade for the gun, even though it is to a certain degree as well. But we put on the Olight PL Mini 2. And this one's nice because it slides back and it fits. I mean, it's almost perfectly flush with the front. It doesn't protrude out. Maybe I'm gonna call it less than a millimeter that it protrudes out past the front of the barrel. So pretty flush with it. It fits really well and also very easily accessible. Remember that thumb rest I was telling you about? Well, all I have to do is just bring my thumb down and I mean, it's right there. I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at you. It's easy to activate. So it works really well. It's 600 lumens. Yep, that's bright. And it has the ability to either just be flicked on and stays on until you flick it off, or if you want to hold it down as soon as you release, then it'll go ahead and turn off. We will have a link below where you can get the Olight PL Mini 2 directly from Olight, and that was $90. So all in, if you were to purchase this now, with today's prices of $260 to $275, you spend the $90 at Lakeline LLC for the 3 upgrades. You go ahead and put the light on it. Well, you're in for about $450 more or less. Personally, we're in for $360 because we didn't wait until things got crazy to buy a pistol. But if you're in that situation, well, you're going to be in about $450 altogether with the light. Take the light out, and you're in for about $350 more or less, $360, which is not bad for a defensive pistol. Now, who is the G2C really good for? God, the list is long. But I'll tell you this. If this is your first time purchasing a gun and you're trying to figure out what to get, well, this is a really good way to go because it's inexpensive. And for not a lot of money, you could figure out that, you know what, yes, I do feel comfortable owning a firearm, and I do feel comfortable defending my life and the life of those whom I love, those of who are with me at the moment. And that's a big deal because not everybody wants to spend $1,000, $800, $600 to find out if it's something that they want to continue on with in their life. So the Taurus G2C is a really great way to go for that. Number 2 is, look, what if you're on a very, very limited budget? All right, and look, just because you're on a limited budget or on a lower income doesn't mean you don't have the right to defend life. And this is a very inexpensive way to go. You don't have to worry about the reliability of a used pistol, even though there's some wonderful used pistols out there, but you can purchase something brand new out of the box for $260 to $275, which is fairly inexpensive when it comes to a 9mm pistol. Maybe, look, you just want to keep an extra gun in your truck or in your car, in your center console, in your glove box, whatever it might be, something for your passenger to be able to have accessible if should they need to. And the Taurus G2C would fit that bill, that need very well because you don't want something that's very expensive that you're going to leave in your car where somebody could break in and just take it. So something that's a few $100s, that fits that need as well. What if you have something right now like a 1911 or an AR-15, not something that you can actually conceal carry? Well, you need to get a second gun. Well, this is an excellent concealed carry pistol. This is the size that this has makes it ideal for concealed carry. And look, what if you just want to keep a gun in the shower? All right, and I know some of you just laughed at that right now, but it's true. If somebody breaks into your house and you're in the shower, wouldn't you like to have a gun in the shower? Really? If you have to stumble and slip and slide your way all the way to the night table in order to get your pistol, in order to be able to defend, well, look, me personally, by the time I'd get there, I'd have snapped my ankle in half probably, slipping and sliding on my floor. Hey, Mr. Intruder, you mind calling 911 on your way out so an ambulance can come take me to the hospital? I can't get up. No, absolutely not. So do I want to put a $1,000 or an $800 or an expensive pistol in the shower where it's 90% humidity most of the time when I'm in there? No, I don't. So I want to go ahead and have something that's rather inexpensive, that if it does, just get a little ugly from the humidity, let's call it, as long as it functions, as long as it's oiled properly, as long as you clean it properly, it will work. Make sure you train with it. Make sure you shoot it so that it's not just collecting dust there, or collecting rust, even worse. But look, this makes a wonderful gun to keep in a humid place like a shower, maybe in a garage or something of that nature, where same thing, you don't want to have your more expensive firearms. So it fits a lot of different needs. It really does. And we originally gave the G2C a solid B in our initial review. I have to tell you, I'm upping it. I'm upping it to a solid B+. There's a couple of little gripes that I have, and I'll tell you about them real easy. Number one is the trigger. The trigger has a double click on the reset. 1, 2. Let me do it without talking. So it has a double click on the reset. And let me show you a quick clip when I was at the range and I didn't reset properly, went ahead to fire, realized nothing happened, then okay, just released and depressed the trigger, and then that was fine. But look, if you're in a stressful situation, you might find yourself where you are now doing this, and hey, be conscious that you need to let it go all the way out. But that was kind of like my biggest gripe on it. And it's not even a big deal because look, even a G2C, which is $600-700 nowadays, comes with a crappy trigger. The plus is that a G2C, there's hundreds of trigger options available out there to improve your trigger. I still haven't found a reliable trigger option to improve the G2C, or somebody to make a reliable trigger option to upgrade the trigger on the G2C. But at the end of the day, look, this is a workhorse. So this is just fine right there. The other thing is the finish on the slide. The paint, the finish that they use on the slide, it's not great. It scratches up real easily. When I was putting my fiber optic front on here, I scratched up the front of the slide a little bit. There's some scratches along the sides of the slide just from use, from having it in the range bag or things of that nature, having it where it wasn't padded or protected at the time. And then there's a little bit of wear here on the parts that extrude out a little bit. On the side of the pistol there, you can see that the finish is wearing down a little bit on it. You see the bare metal a little bit. But other than that, I'm really nitpicking at this. I'm really pleased with the G2C. The most important thing, it's defensively accurate. That's the number one most important thing. And by the way, especially with these really awesome sights that I put on there, and now that they're not wiggling around in the front, it's very defensively accurate. It works really well as far as your accuracy needs for defensive purposes. Number two is that it's reliable, especially with the upgrades that we did with the stainless steel guide rod, with the stainless steel striker guide. Stainless steel striker guides back here. With the new sights that we put on, I find it to be very, very reliable. The grip texture, I like. It's a little bit aggressive, but it's not overly aggressive. It's nice. It works well, especially if your hands are wet or if your hands have blood on them or anything else, mud or whatever it might be. Yeah, you're gonna have a good grip texture here. You're not gonna have to worry about it sliding out of your hand. Like I said, the new sights work really well. It's a 12+1. With an extra magazine, we're now talking about 25 rounds that I can carry on me. I think I'm going to be able to be okay with 25 rounds. Are there pistols out there where I can be 15+1 and carry 31 rounds? Yes, but is that the make it or break it deal? No, it isn't for me. 12+1, 13 plus another 12 in a separate mag, 25 rounds. Yeah, I think you're good to defend, to take care of the majority of situations, let's say, that you may be potentially, hopefully not, presented with. It really just hits all the check marks for a personal defense pistol. Now, the one thing we haven't done is I don't have a holster for this at the moment. We were going to get a holster from Firearms holster. Unfortunately, they went out of business. So if you know a holster manufacturer that is making a holster, Kydex holster or Kydex in leather for the G2C with an Olight PL2 Mini on it, because I do want to have the holster fit the light as well. If you know of a holster manufacturer that's making that, please let us know in the comments below. Also, if you happen to know anybody from Firearms holsters and you happen to know who they might have been selling or they might have sold their molds to, we'd be very interested in contacting them to have them make a holster for us. Because once I have a holster, I'm going to wear this for several months, and then I'll report back to you and let you know what my experience was in wearing this. I don't think it's going to vary much from what I'm currently carrying, which is a Smith & Wesson Shield 9mm single stack. It's an 8+1, so I only have 17 rounds on me. I think this is going to be a major improvement to that. But at the end, I don't think carrying it is going to be very different, but I want to have the experience, and then I want to report back to you. The other thing is that now Taurus is coming out with a G2C. And it's actually just came out already. As soon as we get our hands on one, we're going to, and we'll do an initial review video for you on that one. So please stay tuned. I want to thank you for watching our video. I hope you got value out of the information. Please, if you have any comments, leave them below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I am a sample size of 1. So if your experience has been different with the G2C or the G3, the G3C, if you already have your hands on one, let us know. Let us know in the comments below. If you liked our content, please, once again, subscribe, like, and hit the little notification bell so that you can be notified as soon as we put out a new video. Want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. And if you have the opportunity, please adopt a pet. There's thousands of shelters across the country with hundreds of thousands of animals that would just make a wonderful pet and are in need of a loving home. They will just worship you for the rest of your life. It is the most rewarding thing that you could possibly do, or one of. Thank you very much once again. We look forward to seeing you next time.